I see MySpace as hanging out with them all with friends. I see Facebook as sitting around a coffee shop talking, maybe even meeting a few people over business, but it can be social as well. And LinkedIn is a lot more like a Chamber of Commerce meeting or a business meeting of that kind. So wherever you find yourself, wherever you see yourself in that, get one of those accounts, but you don't necessarily need to have one in all of them. Does that make sense? And I mean, as an example, you guys have at least a couple dozen people that you're associated with in this organization, right? I would suggest that if all of your prospects were in one location, be it the mall, the coffee shop, or the Chamber of Commerce meeting, you wouldn't want to overwhelm them, right? And you wouldn't want to all go to the same Chamber of Commerce meeting. Yet somebody who didn't go might make a contact that was there somewhere else, at the bookstore or at the library or wherever. So go ahead and go where you feel natural in that description, and I'll give you a little bit more than that as we go along. But wherever, if you feel more natural going to a coffee shop talking to people about business, or if you feel more natural going to a Chamber of Commerce meeting, pick Facebook or LinkedIn and don't worry about the other one just yet, because you can learn techniques and tools for contacting people in one and apply them in the other. So just if you have one, open it up. If you don't worry about it. And if you can follow along conceptually, I think, with what we're going to be talking about in either answering questions and talking to people to kind of put out stuff that makes so much sense. Does anyone that's remote have Skype installed? A program called Skype? Are you familiar with that? I wouldn't think so either. It's when I talk to folks online, Skype makes it really easy to hand them something like they're in person. It allows one-to-many communication. It's almost like instant email. But I often do it when I'm sending somebody a link. Instead of saying, okay, go to www.whatever-the-site-name.com, I say, here's a link, click, and then you can go there. It really supplements conference calls. It actually hosts them too over voice over IP. But many IT security people shun it, so I'm used to not having access to it. We can work with that as well. SKYPE. And with Skype, and it's also you'll find I transcend not just the business world, but I'll get over into personal as well, because I don't think there's that much of a delineage between the two. But as Skype is a chat program, it's a collaboration program, it's a talking program, and literally you can have a conference call with people on Skype, and it goes over the internet, much like I suspect part of our conversation now is going over the internet. It doesn't necessarily have the same quality, but it absolutely costs nothing. And you can also call regular phones with it. So if you're tied to a desk and you're not stuck with an IT department that doesn't like anything that doesn't look secure, Skype's one of the ways to go. There's a couple out there. Skype seems to be the biggest one. eBay bought it, if that gives you any indicator of where it's going, or where at least eBay thinks it's going. Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing, and I've been involved in the early social the social web early on, back about 10 years ago. I was going to law school, and I collaborated with people that were just 10-15 miles over the road. We'd be on a phone call, and then we'd go into instant messaging chat with AOL chat. We'd go into other things like that just to send links back and forth, or text if we were working on a joint project. So it's just an extension of sitting next to somebody or having them look over your shoulder while you're typing something on the computer screen. It just kind of opens up the space between you, or should I say closes the space between you. Yeah, it's neat for collaboration, especially when you're doing team building stuff.